What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Enenginengi. And we're back at it again. And I just want to cover this topic about the teenage pregnancy in South Africa. Alarming numbers that came out of KZN, Eastern Cape, and the Northern Cape. Crazy numbers that you will never even believe that these children um, are participating in sexual activities that are that they are not even supposed to be even knowing about. Children as young as 9 years old, pregnant, a 9-year-old mother pregnant. And you have children you ask yourself, what actually is going on? What what the hell is going on? And because this is a black consciousness type of a channel. This is a Pan African movement channel. This is a black agenda channel. My focus will be obviously mostly about what is it that we are doing wrong as black people. I'm going to be addressing my debate today in that angle. What is it that we are doing wrong? What is wrong with our fathers, our uncles, that they will look at a 9-year-old with no breast, no bumps, no hips, and leave all of these women outside and take take this poor child and open the child's legs and insert his penis there. What is wrong with men in South Africa? Where did it go wrong? You know, where did it go wrong? This thing, is it a thing that was always there but hidden? Yes, someone can say that, but I would argue that it wasn't as bad as it is now. A 9-year-old raped by her own father, a 10-year-old impregnated by the older brother, a 10-year-old impregnated by the neighbor, a 10-year-old impregnated, 11-year-old impregnated by an uncle in the same household. What is going on, Africans? You need the answers. You want the answers. I've got some. I'm not perfect. But I know the school of thought, the way we were conditioned, has led to these numbers adding up. Number one, let's compare. You compare in terms of statistics. We talk about percentages. When you look at white schools, black public schools, semi-private and public schools, and you look at the percentage of pregnancies, which schools stand out? It's our schools, the public schools in the location. Our children are suffering there. Yes, white children do also get pregnant, but it is not at an alarming percentage, alarming numbers like our black children do. Let's just quickly look at these crazy stats that are happening all over. Let's begin with Gauteng. 13,000 children, teenage pregnancy, meaning from 9 years old to 17, to 19 to 18 years old. Teenage pregnancy, even 19, they do count it because there are some children that are still at 19 years old in school. In Limpopo, 11,000. That's a crazy number for Limpopo. That, my goodness, 11,000 in Limpopo. And then we have Mpumalanga, my birth province, 8,840. That number is just too crazy. Northwest, 5,000. Imagine 5,000. What is this? 635. And then we have the Free State, that is at triple four, 4,444. Then we go to the crazy provinces where children are sex objects. We're talking about KwaZulu Natal, which is number one in the whole of South Africa, 24,230 and still counting. Remember, these are the known cases. These are the cases that are reported. There's other children, once they get pregnant, they run away. There's other children, once they get pregnant, the person who impregnated them goes to the backdoor abortion. There's other children where the families try to hide this whole thing of pregnancies. Then we've got the Eastern Cape. My goodness, Eastern Cape, 12,582. The Eastern Cape. Then we have the Western Cape, which I think is the lowest of all the provinces. And it's sitting at 6,543. And the province where I'm residing now, Northern Cape, which the lowest number, which is 2,662. But in terms of percentage, the Northern Cape is very high. You must remember, the Northern Cape is the biggest province with the least population number, the smallest population number, if I can put it like that. So, what are we saying, Africans? What are we saying about ourselves, about the future? And then you ask yourself, why is Africa the youngest in terms of the age, what do they call it? The youngest continent in terms of age group in the whole world. Africa is basically a youth continent. The youngest population in the world lives in Africa. This is the reason. This is the reason. And we're not saying we are worse than anything. In America, if I can show you the American stats, it's crazy. They are looking at 305 pregnancies a year, 300,005. But you must remember, if we take the stats of Africa, we're going to definitely beat that. We're definitely going to beat that, because in South Africa already we are close to we are close to 100,000, and it's just one country. We go to Zimbabwe, where they're having a problem with small children getting married, forced marriage to teen children, marrying old men, 50 something years, 70 something year old men marrying someone in Zimbabwe. And that problem runs throughout the whole of Africa, where children are forced into sexual activities and sexual into marriage eventually. We will never have a solution coming from a different culture. White people, Chinese people, whoever people are not going to give us a solution until we as our African men stand up and say, enough is enough. And unfortunately, what that means is you standing up against your uncle, you standing up against your brother, I'm talking about men, you calling to order that corrupt friend of yours that sleeps with teenagers. There was a topic where in SAFM where they were talking about how taxi drivers who transport our children are saying, they are talking about how nice is it to sleep with these small children. And these small children will show you flames in bed. They're talking about children in high school, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11. You're messing up these children because you're making them to jump at an age where they're supposed to have fun in life. Now they are going to an age where they are parents. There's no more turning back. Once you have a child, there's no more turning back. I actually experienced that in my family, where the pregnancy of my little sister was hidden from me. I think at that time it was because in high school I was a rebel, man. I was involved in wrong crowds. In fact, maybe I was also a wrong crowd in terms of violence. We were involved in gangs and all of that, and we were fighting. I think they didn't tell me because I would have hunted that man down, because my sister was 15 years old when she gave birth. 15 years old, you know. And today they are not involved with the father, and that's the case. When you have a child as a teenager, probably getting pregnated by other teenagers or even older men, the chances of you marrying or sticking with that person forever are very low. You tell me on the comment section, how many people do you know that had children in high school are still with the same partner 20, 15 years later? Very few. The percentage should be somewhere at 5%. Sex education at school. Is it supposed to be there? What? Why is it that other countries can block porn sites for age groups or block porn completely? Why is it in other countries they can control the internet access of children, but in our country we are not concerned? Even with these alarming numbers that are coming out, you don't see a concern anywhere. You don't see people coming out and say, no, man, let's formulate a new program. And remember, in South Africa, it started when they started taking religion out of churches. They first said divest religion. Then they said, it was Christianity and Islam, and then they involved Satanism. Then they said, if you don't want to pray, no, don't pray. Then then they said, no man, let's just take out this thing of forcing religion into people. And I don't want us to preach religion in this channel. I told you here we speak about the African spirit, Pan-Africanism, Black Forward, Amandla Black Agenda. That's what I want to speak, because in religion will separate us, guys. Once I start preaching about Christianity and everything, it will separate us on this channel. There are channels that are doing great. Church reality show with Ricky, go and watch that. Beautiful. Then there are working other channels you can watch for African spiritual. I don't do that. I'm not going to force my religion to you. I'm a firm believer. I'm rooted in my religion. I'm okay. Don't want us to debate that. But since religion was taken out of schools, look at what is happening. And you, KZN, why do you think you are getting so many tornadoes and everything? Don't you think spiritually you guys are polluted? Abogogo Maweni, all of this rubbish that is happening in KZN. And our laws, our government, do you guys know? And let's quickly read what our government says about sex, consensual sex. Okay, number one, it says, children below the age of 12 do not have the capacity to consent to sexual activity. Okay, we agree with that one. In fact, I would say children under the age of 16 cannot give consent. Sexual intercourse with children below the age of 12 is considered rape, okay? That's obvious. Even if they say yes, of course, then it's still rape, okay? There's something that I wanted you us to read. Okay, listen to this one. Consensual sexual intercourse may occur between two children who are at least 12 years old and under the age of 16. What nonsense is this? You just said children of 12 years old cannot give consent, but now you are turning and say consensual sexual intercourse may occur between two children. Between two children. You are not even saying young adult. You are not saying, you are saying between two children. who are at least 12. You just said children of 12 years old cannot oh, guys, who are at least 12 years old and under the age of 16. So, in other words, if you are 15 years old, you can have sex with a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old. That is what they are basically saying here. And that is when puberty starts. That's when they start having their periods and everything. That's when the teenage pregnancy comes. Listen to this rubbish now. 16 to 17-year-old may only have consensual sex with persons not more than 2 years younger than them. So if you are 17-year-old, you can have sex with a 15-year-old. Consensual sex meaning we are agreeing together that we can have sex. Africans, we need to speak about this. I need to make a new video about this. I didn't want this video to be this long. Excuse me for that. My apologies. But I'm hurt that in our churches we don't speak enough about this because the perpetrators are in the churches. In the families, we don't speak enough about this because the perpetrators, we know them, they are in the churches. At schools, we don't speak enough about this. There was one time in Northern Cape a teacher that impregnated 31 students in 1 year. One teacher, 31 students. Imagine. At the workplaces, we don't speak about this because sex is a joke between gentlemen. We know colleagues that are sleeping with children that are underage. We don't correct this thing. And we don't have that black agenda spirit to carry that excellence to say, Abantu abamnyama, where is your Ubuntu? Remember where you come from, black people. This is not us. We were conditioned to be like this. Let's fight. Who said the greatest weapon in the oppressor's hand is the mind of the oppressed? We never reconditioned ourselves. We never re-brainwashed ourselves. We never uninstalled the rubbish that white people installed in us and took it out. King, why are you always talking about white people? Listen, you are in the wrong channel. That is why. You cannot push a black agenda, a pro-black agenda, and do multiracial nonsense. You cannot push a pro-black agenda and have white people that like you. But anyway, let me not push this video for being too long. You won't believe even my phone cut. We as black people need to have a new conversation about reconditioning our mind. We need to have an honest conversation to say, guys, since our independence, all the African countries, have we sat down and reconditioned, took out that brainwash that was in our head, enforced in us, and reinstalled the old African morals that we used to have as Africans? Let's be honest with ourselves. The education system, is it pro-black? The work environment, everything that we do as Africans must be pro-black, pro-African. We don't really actually have to say pro-black, but African is the word that we must use. We have to be honest. If you like things like African oneness, African supporting African together, like things that this channel stands for, like one Africa, one land, one Africa with no borders, one Africa, one currency, one Africa, one army. If you like things like that, you are in the correct channel. Click the subscribe button. You are at home. Okay? This is the channel you were looking for all this time. In this channel, we are unapologetically pro-African. We're not going to we're not gonna back down for that. And we are here to learn from each other. Go to the videos that are of this channel and learn some African things. Mondays we are learning Swahili. Sundays, we've got African news. Fridays, we are speaking about our African consciousness and what we need to do where we are, the little that we can do where we are. And then during the week and in between, we've got just videos like this, breaking news that are breaking and new trending topics, and then we covered it. That's what we are doing in this channel. So, guys, the video was too long. Until we meet next time, it's your boy King053, Mr. Easy Money, and don't forget to pray, and I salute you, all of you.
At White Knot Technologies, we specialize in bags, embroidery, branded wear, and screen printing. We provide the finest quality for affordable price and fast turnaround time. We make sure you'll be satisfied with your order. Visit us at 18 Fisher Avenue, Epping.